Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm gonna prep some ribs. What's up, amateur? The sun ain't even up, man. But I'm prepping some ribs. Figured I'd just prep them on live for you guys. Let's see. What's up, everybody? I'm gonna prep these ribs on my live and I'll leave it up for 24 hours. What's up, amateur? How's it going? It's cold. I mean, it's not as cold as some of y'all. It's probably like 30 something degrees, but I know some of you are below that. What's up, Drain Beard? It's cracking. El Gordo, how's it going? All right, I'm gonna prep these ribs, so let's do this. These are spares, pork spare ribs. And you can see how some of these come. Look at that, blown out. So I'll trim all this off. What I'll do is square them up. So I look for the bone here. All right, so I just trimmed that off. This can go on the Traeger. This can still be cooked as a snack. I just don't want it on the end of my rack of ribs because it looks like dog crap. So that'll go over there. And then I'll usually take a rib or two off of each side. So this rib is coming off. You can see that it's got a bunch of fat on it anyway, so no need. So basically, let's see here. You can see how it kind of grows out. So I'm going to trim this a little bit to kind of even it up. Not too bad. And then you got this fat. Some of this fat that's too thick, it won't render off, so you want to get rid of this fat. So let's do that. Boom. Get some of this off here. Some of this fat, just shave it off. It doesn't all have to come off. It'll render off, but the thicker pockets won't. So get some of that off there. Sharp knife. Need a sharp knife. Some of that off. See, it's a little thicker, so get some of that thicker fat off. You don't have to, I'm just picky. I have people tell me that I'm real aggressive with my trimming. Why? Because I can, it's me, I'm eating it, so I just prefer not to deal with that on the finished product. So that's just me. All right, so that's nicely squared up. If you look, boom. So now we're gonna pull the, well, let me trim some of this off and then we'll pull the membrane off. So if you look, these usually have a piece of meat coming down. I like to remove that. Again, some of this meat is still good. You could throw it on, smoke it, put some sauce on it. It's still snacks, or throw it away. But a lot of it's still good meat. If you guys are wrap it, you can. It'll just if you want to do the sugar and the honey to build that flavor when you wrap it, or just let it go and then sauce it, you can. I'll only wrap these mainly because of the bones and you want to get them more tender. So now I need to pull the membrane. I got my paper towels right here. So if you see, it's already started pulling. My hands are frozen because it's cold. Make sure you bring extra paper towel. There we go. So there's the membrane. Pretty much all in one pull. You see that? You want that off. Seasoning won't penetrate that, and it's gonna be more of a tougher chew if you leave that on, so take that off. I didn't mean to slap y'all with it. What's up, Rhonda? How's it going? Just out here in the dark trimming ribs. And then you have a little bit of fat on this backside. That you can remove. All right. Well, this rack is pretty well done. What's up, Audie? How's it going, bro? So I just squared up a rack. Got the membrane off. It's ready to get seasoned. But let me get this other rack done in case some of you just jumped in. Again, here's another rack. You can see the difference. Let me lay these out. Actually, like this. You can see it's squared up. Pretty good looking rack. And then you got this one. You want to get some of that blown out meat on the end. Just trim some of this fat off. So, actually, let's get that off too. That'll go there. Again, when you're trimming this end off, you just kind of want to feel around for a bone and then cut next to that bone. And try and square it up the best you can. Again, you can smoke this, season it, smoke it, sauce it. These are good snacks. You don't have to throw it away. Get this one off here. Boom. Again, we're squared up. So this one's got some really thick fat that you can see. See how thick that fat is? I'm gonna try, well, one thing I can do is I'm gonna actually take that rib off. So this one's gonna have one less rib, but I'd rather get rid of that fat pocket. Right there. Slippery. You see how much fat's on there? I prefer not to eat that. There's minimal meat on there, so I took that extra bone off. So we got one less rib on this rack, but it's all right. Let's see. I'll get some of this extra fat off. I'm not trying to remove all the fat. Obviously, fat is flavor, but the thick pockets won't render. Can't stress that enough. So that looks pretty good. Get some of this flappy meat off. Okay, now the membrane. My hands are frozen. Woo! So that wasn't a one pull, obviously. I just got a strip of that. So keep at it. Make sure you have extra paper towel. Paper towel, pulling this membrane is easy. There we go. That's pretty good right there. Then you got this extra fat. It's kind of, some of these bones have a lot of fat on them, but to get to them pretty easily, you just kind of hold the ribs and follow it down as you go. You can kind of work your way down. It makes it easier to take the fat off when the ribs are bent like that. All right, so I got 2 racks of ribs ready to get seasoned. All right, so today I'm gonna use whiskey bent what's up, McNutt? How's it going? Today I'm going to use the whiskey bent old-fashioned rib. It's good on pork. It's good on poultry. It's good on jalapeno poppers. So pretty much one of those versatile ribs. That's Chad Ord whiskey bent barbecue. So the bottom side of the ribs, which is the bone side, I don't season heavy. I season about half of what I do on the meat side. Why? Because it can tend to burn and turn really dark on the bottom if you completely cover this side. So that's just my way of doing it. Everybody has their way. So here we go. And I don't use a binder. You can use a binder. You can rep mustard on these, but they're tacky. I mean, a binder is to like hold it on, but you know, it's got enough moisture in it to where you don't need a binder. People use it. I use it sometimes, but really it's not necessary. All right, so that's as much as I'm gonna go on this side. The other side, I'm gonna go heavy. Again, if you're just jumping in, I just trimmed some pork spare ribs. I'll save this live if you guys want to go rewatch it. I'm using the Old Fashioned from Whiskey Bent Barbecue. Good stuff. Really good on ribs. Good color. So this side, I'm going to go heavy. You got to remember, a lot of these barbecue rubs that you see out on the market, Whiskey Bent Barbecue, Meat Church, Traeger, they're really, really low sodium. They mainly pack a flavor than salt, so you can go heavy with these rubs. Sometimes people be like, man, you're really going heavy. That's going to be salty. There's very little sodium in these ribs. I like to pat it down not move my hand on it, because all you're gonna do is be moving the rub around and make some inconsistencies. So just kind of pat it down. Find any bald spots. Move that one aside. We'll get this other one. So I like to run my hand down the edge on the top side, so when the rub falls off the side, it's hitting the side of my hand and hitting the side of that rib so you can season it. Again, I just want to pat it down. I don't want to smear it around. All right, now these will sweat out, and sweating out means these will sit here for about 30-40 minutes. Once they actually start looking wet again, that's when they're ready. It's pretty much taken some of that rub flavor into the meat. I'm not one to rub these, put them in the fridge overnight. I feel that that's not necessary, but everybody has their way of doing it. So that's it, man. 2 racks of spare ribs trimmed, seasoned, and ready for, we're probably gonna hit the Timberline 850, 225 Super Smoke. A lot of people are, they know about the 3-2-1 method. 3 hours smoke, 2 hours wrap, and then 1 hour sauce, and then back on. I kind of stay away from that method. I stay close to it, but 2 hours wrapped to me is too much. An hour and a half wrapped is pretty decent, because wrapping these ribs for 2 hours, yeah, people like the like it when you can just pull the bone out and the meat just falls off, but I'm telling you, if you do a little bit less time and your meat still stays on the bone, but you can actually bite through it and still remove the meat, it's just a lot better bite, and it's not mushy. So a little bit less time on the wrap I would recommend, but some people just like that really fall off the bone kind of mushy meat. Not me though. All right, well, let's see. Man, my hands are frozen. What's up, Traeger? Vito, what's up, bro? Just out here. The sun is just coming up. You can see in the background we're getting a little bit of daylight. But I'm gonna save this video if anybody wants to watch it. I just prepped these pork spare ribs from start to finish, so I need to actually, I'm gonna get the Traeger going right now. Let's turn it on while be right back. Let me get her going. So I'm gonna do these at 225 on the Timberline, the new Timberline with the D2. I'm gonna use the Super Smoke. Let me 225 Super Smoke. I've got a 100% cherry pellet in there. That's basically my favorite pellet for mostly everything, but especially for pork and beef. I just prefer that pellet. It's not gonna put too much smoky flavor, because if I was to go like 100% mesquite or hickory or oak, it would have more of a smoky flavor. Some people like that, I don't. So I can get a mild smoke flavor with this and some really good color with those cherry pellets. So as that's warming up, these are sweating out, and I'm gonna go get to some other things that I got going on today. So I appreciate all you jumping in, and I'm gonna save this video. What's up, James? I'm just out here in the dark prepping ribs. I'm gonna save this video. If you guys want to watch it. It'll be up for 24 hours. Thank you guys. See if I can end this right